It is a move that could spell the end of Justin Trudeau's 9-year run as Canada's Prime Minister. Federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh has pulled his support for the Trudeau Liberals, and the big question now is whether Canadians will be heading to the polls sooner or later. Our political correspondent Glenn McGregor is in Ottawa tonight. And Glenn, this move by the NDP is triggering a tidal wave of uncertainty in the nation's capital.
Yeah, that's right, Cynthia. When this deal was first announced between the Liberals and the NDP in March of 2022, it was supposed to last until June of next year, June of 2025. But today, a bombshell ending that deal, and it is one, as you say, that could send Canadians to the polls sooner than we expected.
Under the Confidence and Supply Agreement, the New Democrats promised to support the Liberals on votes in Parliament that could topple the government if they lost, mostly money bills like federal budgets. In return, the Liberals would act on key NDP priorities. But this afternoon, Jagmeet Singh broke off the deal with a message posted on social media.
Today, I notified the Prime Minister that I've ripped up the Supply and Confidence Agreement. Canadians are fighting a battle for the future of the middle class.
The election-style video accused Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of favoring big business and CEOs over the needs of everyday Canadians desperate for relief from the high cost of living.
The fact is, the Liberals are too weak, too selfish, and too beholden to corporate interests to fight for people.
The Liberals had fulfilled most of their promises to the New Democrats under the agreement, passing legislation to stop the use of replacement workers in federally regulated workplaces, the so-called anti-scab law, taking small steps toward launching a pharmacare program to help cover the costs of prescription drugs. And the NDP's top demand, setting up a national dental care program that is still being phased in. But the NDP grew frustrated that the Liberals hadn't done more to rein in runaway prices and hadn't supported a windfall tax on grocery store chains running up big profits since the pandemic. And some New Democrats were angry that the Liberals ended the labor disruption at 2 major freight railway lines by forcing the dispute into a binding arbitration process against the union's wishes. Some NDP MPs were questioning why the party was continuing to support an unpopular Liberal government now that they'd achieved most of their goals under the deal. Trudeau learned only before the NDP released the video that the agreement was off. About an hour before this announcement in Newfoundland and Labrador about an agreement with the province on a school lunch program.
Every politician gets to choose whether they want to play politics or whether they want to serve Canadians, and I certainly hope that the NDP will stay true to its fundamental values, which is making sure that Canadians get the support they need.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre had been pressing the NDP to tear up the deal. Today, he doubled down on that attack.
For the last 2 years, sellout Singh has signed on to a coalition, a costly coalition, to keep Trudeau in power, raising taxes, doubling housing costs.
The collapse of the deal doesn't necessarily mean we're headed into another election campaign imminently. But when confidence votes come up in the House of Commons, NDP support is no longer guaranteed. The Liberals will have to solicit votes from the Bloc Québécois or the Conservatives, but could still win NDP backing on a case-by-case basis.
Now, Cynthia, the next major confidence vote in Parliament may not be until the spring when the government has to table its federal budget. But Pierre Poilievre could move at any time after the MPs come back from to the House of Commons in mid-September. He could bring a non-confidence motion before the House, and if the government were to lose that vote, we'd be headed back to the polls, possibly even before Christmas, Cynthia.
Interesting. So we are in for a whole new phase of political uncertainty. Now, Glenn, is Jagmeet Singh ripping up this deal now because he doesn't want to be associated so closely with the Liberals, who are clearly suffering in the polls? Is this about political survival for Singh?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit in that. Of course, the Liberals are trailing the the Conservatives by about 20 percentage points in the most recent polls. But there's also another more kind of immediate reason why the NDP may also be targeting Pierre Poilievre, as they did in that video, going after him repeatedly on some of his positions. And that's because there's an important by-election coming up in Manitoba later this month. It's going to pit the NDP. It's a safe NDP seat, but the Conservatives Conservatives are very aggressively going after it. They're hoping to win over Labour voters, sort of the traditional NDP base of support, trying to bring on trade unionists. In fact, the guy they're running in that riding is a card-carrying electrician, a member of a union. So they have a lot of hope for that. And of course, that would be really embarrassing for Jagmeet Singh were he to lose that by-election. So a lot at stake there. But yes, you're right. This is really kind of the NDP and Jagmeet Singh trying to distance themselves from an unpopular prime minister and an unpopular government.
Okay, Glenn, we'll be following you very closely over the next few months. Thank you.